It's becoming a
Hello.
routine. Hi. Yeah, we're doing more.
What was that music?
That was from the Super Mario Odyssey soundtrack, the Steam Gardens. Anyway, so yeah, last time we made some actual progress again, so that's nice. Let's just load this up real quick. Whoops. Okay. Here we are. Oopie-doop. Yes.
Let's get into OpenGL fun times.
Right. So what we need to figure out now is this gap problem. This here. Yep. There you are. Yes. So this vertex here has to match up with this one. What is going on? Okay, alright. So I'm not exactly... Actually, before we do any of that, I want to fix a bigger problem, which is that currently shader recompilation for some reason does not work right. So if I change this, for example, say... what does this do? Oh yeah. Back 4 0 0 1. If I do this, it should update, but it does not, which is very annoying, and I would like to have that back. What is the thing? The thing is a shader entity. Let's see here. So what does define shader? Define class shader does what? It just sets the class shader, which then does what? Alright, set class shader, and then you have compute effective shaders. So that should... Right, so that computes the effective shaders, which should now be proper. So let's actually have a look at that. Wish I had a second REPL. For times like these. Effective shaders of, what was it? Workbench we had. I think I called it thing, yeah, thing. Here we go. Alright, let's see. So fragment shader, yes. So it computed the thing properly. So it did all of this. The problem is it didn't refresh the assets that actually do the thing. Which is because why? I think that's an inherent problem that I haven't fixed. It works for shader subjects, which do what? No. Oh? Did I remove this entirely? Might have never fixed this. Not sure. Reduce the subject for enter. That's not it. Update shader for redefined subject. Subject class redefined. Yes. So... Right. So the problem is that entities, because they don't handle events, they don't have any way to track the current event loop, which means they can't trigger an event for this. I don't like this though. Also, I need to music things. Okay. So, right. We need to somehow... Okay. Let me try to explain this. Because this goes deep into the way things are organized, I guess. So, what we have is... We have basically entities, we have shader entities, we have subjects, and we have shader subjects. Now, entities are basically the most low-level kind of thing you can have. Or, well, they're basically just a superclass for all the things that can go into a scene. So anything that can be drawn or anything that sort of interacts with the game in a more direct manner is an entity. And then you have a shader entity, which is an entity that has shaders attached to it. Then you have subjects, which are entities that can receive... which are entities that can receive events. So they are part of the scene, and the scene delivers events to the things it contains, and subjects can receive and process events from the scene. And then you have shader subjects, which are shader entities and subjects. So that part is relatively straightforward. Now, because like in OpenGL, usually, well, not usually, but often you want to sort of achieve certain kind of effects. And some of these effects need to change how an object is drawn. So we need to dynamically be able to change how each object is drawn based on which current shader effect we're trying to apply. Which means that we need to be able to influence the shaders of these shader entities in a dynamic way. So what we have for this are these shader passes, and basically what they do is they have a table that goes from shader entity to an actual shader program that you can use. So the shader programs are the things that you can actually, you know, apply so that the GPU performs certain computations when it draws. So the shader pass has a table from each shader entity class to that shader program that it needs to bind when this shader entity is drawn with that pass. So that's why this is a bit complicated. Now, because shader entities are supposed to be as simple as possible, they don't actually have any way to tie back into the current event loop they're in, which means that currently there's no way for the shader pass to actually know when the shader entities shader definitions change, so that it could update the shader program so you can actually see the change in the scene. Now, I believe this is an artifact of when I was trying to generalize the system to allow you to have multiple kinds of event loops at the same time. So, we're going to event loop, you have handlers and events and whatever the fuck. So, in, the idea was that, well, it might be useful if you have, like, if you could segregate things into multiple loops, so you can have, like, I don't know, an event loop for like, things while it's paused, and an event loop for things while the game is actually in play. And I still think that's a valuable thing to retain. So I'm not entirely sure what to do about this. I suppose the simplest thing to do would be to just signal the main, like send an event to the main scene loop. The scene is always bound by a special variable, so it is reachable. But no, wait, it's not. It's reachable by loop, which is only bound within the event dispatch, so that doesn't work. But you could retrieve it through the main window, which is globally registered. Now, that's obviously a nasty thing to do, and I don't quite like that idea. The other possibility... It's such a bother because... yeah, entities not knowing where they are is a real pain. Let me see. Entity. So entities are units, and units are things. Units have a name, and that's it. Yeah. So the reason why the entity doesn't know where it is stored is because it might be reasonable to store the entity in multiple things at the same time. For example, you could imagine when you need to do a level transition, so you need to load in a new level. What you can do is basically you keep the old scene, then you move the objects that say the same, you add them to the old to the new scene as well, load in the additional stuff, and only then sort of delete the old scene, and then let things be garbage collected. So it seems reasonable to me that in some contexts you might want to have an entity that is part of multiple scenes, which eliminates that possibility as well. The last thing I can think of right now is that you could have a global scene registry and then just send the event to all the scenes, but that doesn't seem like a great idea to me either. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. Any ideas? Because I sure don't have any.
I feel a bit lost.
Me too, buddy.
But no ideas.
Should have gotten something to drink. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so to give you the short form of the problem, the entity has shader information attached to it. And when we update this, we need to get the actual shader program updated as well, so that the display shows the changes you made. The problem is, the entity does not have access to this shader program, because the shader program is managed by the shader passes. So the question is, how do the shader passes get to know that the entity changed so that it can update the shader the shader program thingy? And the problem is that, yeah. I also still don't know what the hell to do about the displacement. That still bothers me as well. But that's for another time. You need to update the shader program because that's what OpenGL actually uses to draw, and that's what stores the code information. The shader entity is basically just a class that has a bunch of source code in it. It doesn't actually manage the OpenGL resources itself. That's the responsibility of the shader pass, which is basically what determines the effect that the scene is currently drawn with. And the reason why the shader entity does not have access to the shader program or doesn't manage it itself is because the shader pass might need to change the shader source code. An entity, well, this pillar here is an entity, the quad at the bottom is an entity, these rings are an entity. An entity is just anything. An object. An object that can appear in a scene. Yeah, you can see the gaps pretty well now with this. What? But if the object changes, why do I need to change the program that renders them? I'm not changing the actual vertices, I'm changing the shader, which is the program that decides how it is drawn. And I'm changing the source code of that program, so I need to recompile it with OpenGL, and then use the new program that I compiled from the new source code in order to draw the actual object. Well, then skip back in the video and listen to what I said. Well, I don't think I'm gonna come up with a good idea. I can do a quick fix for this, which is to do that. And then find class string. That should work, but doesn't. What? Why is... Okay, so it's not even reaching that. That is most peculiar. Either subject? No. Subject. Instance for redefined. What? Okay, so that doesn't get triggered. Why not? Be defective handlers. Oh, I need to actually do that. Okay. Here's subject. I think that's the ticket. So, effective shaders, yes. Yes, okay, good. At least it works again for subjects. Goody. This... nothing... nothing... Okay. X shader subjects not triggering your definition. Solution on effective shader change. There we go. Okay. Come on. There we go. Now I can do stuff. Hurrah. Good. Okay. Next is figuring out the gaps. I think. Let's actually see what this looks like. Let me switch back to fill. Has to be a better way. Okay. Yes. Okay. Alright, finally time to look back at the fucking paper and see what they do. Paperino. Also forgot to change the font size. Sorry about that. Set frame font. What was it? 13, I think? Okay, yep. Maybe. Does 12 also work? Yeah, 12 is big. Good. Alright, sorry about that. Hope it was still remotely readable. So.
I can read now, thank you.
Okay. So the fix-up is what you can see here. So, as it gets more blue, which means as it gets closer to the edge, the actual vertex positions are pushed towards what they would be on the next level. So they have an exponential fall off towards the outside, I guess, or inside. So let's see here. Right, here we go. For smooth transitions, the vertex shader blends the geometry near the outer boundary of each level with that of the next course level. It computes the blending parameter alpha based on the xy location relative to the continuous via position vx vy.
Towards the inside of the outside.
And the left side. Specifically, alpha equals max alpha x alpha y with this. Okay. For all coordinates, here all coordinates are expressed in the 0 to n-1 range of the clipmap grid, and w is the transition width, chosen to be n by 10. The desired property is that alpha evaluates to 0 except in the transition region, where it ramps up linearly to reach 1 at the outer perimeter. Okay, so it's linear. Oh, alright, okay. Figure 223a shows the evaluation of the parameter alpha within the transition region in purple. For geometric blending, we linearly interpolate between the current final level of elevation and the elevation at the same location in the next course level. Right. In the general case, the sample location lies on an edge of the course grid, and ZZ is obtained by averaging the two course samples on the edge endpoints. You could perform this computation at runtime, but it will require a total of 3 vertex texture lookups, 1 for ZF and 2 for ZZ, and vertex texture reads are currently expensive. So that was in 2004. So I think that we can ignore this for now. What they do instead is something crazy. I've talked about this on every occasion before. What they do is they compute both values during the update step, and they store both of them in a single number by storing one in the numeral part and the other in a fractional part, which is crazy talk, but I guess a cool idea if you're into optimization hacks. I don't like optimization hacks because I will forget what the fuck I've done, and then I can't do anything anymore. So, let's instead figure out what they're doing here. So this X...
Let's optimization hack.
No, let's not. So, what they do here is normalize, relativize the X to the viewer position so that you are relative to the current viewer, right? Which is okay. But it assumes that you're actually moving things at all. Currently we are not relative to the viewer. Currently we're just, you know, flying around and have everything centered around 0. So we can get away with ignoring that part for now, I think. So we can just use X. And then to use n-1 by 2, which is okay, minus w minus 1. It's w. Transition width. Okay, so transition width is basically at which point you start doing the interpolation. So, okay. Okay, right. So alpha is just the interpolation parameter, and then we use that to calculate the new z. Okay, that shouldn't be hard. He says, ha ha. Oh boy. Right, so here he extracts the things, which I don't want to fucking do. And instead, we need to compute the CD. So, your pause is currently set to 0, 0, that's alright. Okay. What is this alpha offset again? That's the W. I think? No. Wait, what? World pause, viewer pause. No, that's this thing. Okay. Do I already compute that? Alpha offset. Yes, I do. That's here. Yeah, okay. So we have that as well. Right. So we compute the alpha properly. With... no. Is... okay. Why do we send this to the pixel shader? Hold on. Why is this out? Transition blend on normal map. And elevation. Alpha. Oh, so because they interpolate the normal the exact same way. Okay. I guess? I'm not actually sure. Yes, okay, so they have... right, they use one normal again to store both. Okay. Right. So, hold on. How does this work exactly? I wish I could have both the line grid and the flat shading at the same time. That would be nice. Let me just switch back to this real quick. Whoa. So, okay. So we need to interpolate between these two, like half, and then, no, do we? Yes, we do, because it is less... Okay. Oh boy. Alright. So CF is just... Oops. Float ZF is this. I think? Yeah, so it just is... Yeah. Okay. 1 minus alpha CF. Why is it doing this? What? That should be right. Okay, and then float ZD is... Actually move this. So we need to go one left and one right. Texture 2D, texture damage, UV. Whoops. Actually, not sure if this is... So... What's the scale of 1 unit in this? Well, position, scale factor. I think it's this. Or this one, rather. So... Let's try that. Oh boy. Implicit narrowing of type. Oh, I'm a dummy. Alright. Don't. Oh, fuck. Whoa. Things got kind of crazy. Okay. Don't. I don't think I did it right. Oh, I think I had a thing. Okay, yeah. Good. That looks much more appropriate. Fill. Nope, didn't help at all. Why not? Why not? Why did that not do anything? So if I set things to ZD instead, then what? Okay. That's fairly interesting. But this also means that alpha is basically always 0, isn't it? Yeah. So hold on, I want to show this alpha. We'll use call it R. Okay. So yeah, we'll do this, and it works. Yeah. So first problem, why is alpha always 0? Because it should show through if it worked right. I guess the only thing that makes any sense is if the alpha offset was wrong. Though I'm pretty sure I calculate that appropriately, since that's this. And minus 1 by 2 minus w minus 1. And minus 1 by 2 minus w minus 1. Nope. That sure looks right to me. Alright, maybe we can figure this algorithm out on our own instead of trying to figure out why this isn't working. So, essentially, if we use... Can't we just use... Okay, well, let me see. What if I instead just use this? Ooh, freaky stuff. Interesting. Oh boy. Interesting. Yeah, no, that doesn't work, of course, because it now does it inside every individual unit. Like, it works fine for, sort of fine for this, but obviously not for these chunks, because the position is... Or actually, we could use world pause instead. So let's do that. Sort of. Sort of. Not really. World pause has the problem that we scale it, so what if we do this? Scale factor.zw. No. No, wait. Yes, that's right. That's right. Now, the problem is that's the remaining issue. No, wait. What? What's happening? This isn't correct. Never mind. I'm talking shite. What I basically want is the position of the ring without the scaling. It should be what I had here.
Everything is going according to plan.
But why are these acting up? Why? Also, why? Just... Why are these pieces not doing the thing I want them to do? I mean... Okay, so if you do that, that's that. Now, scale factor XY. Yes. Okay. Right, okay, because, yeah. I see now. So that's what we want. Except a bit steeper. Oops. No. Yeah. Okay, sort of. I still, What we need is that it still reaches 1 at the edge. Yeah? So this won't do. Need to basically add. Can I do that? Oh boy. No. I'm just doing bullshit. This shouldn't be this hard. Lord. Okay. Basically what I want is that it, you know, starts around here and then goes out. So I need to... This is basically times 0.1, yeah? So we'd have 1/10 of it. And then plus that? Minus that? No? Okay. Fuck off. How do I do math? I don't know. I've had fucking calculus and everything, but I can't do anything. Lord. This is just a mapping between two intervals, isn't it? It should just be scaling or dividing by a number and then adding the rest, right? I'm not going crazy here. Except... Why am I so stupid? No, okay. No, I think we want to make the thing larger, but instead put it into the negative so that it's, if I do like this, no? Huh? Why not? Maybe, oh. So wait. Yeah. And then let's do this. That's interesting, but absolutely not what we need. Why? Or is it not what we need? Yeah, it's not what we need. It doesn't... It's kind of what we need, but only in one direction, for some reason. Okay. Probably because of the offset, no? Since we have this weird offsetting going on? No, something else is going on. Whoa. Can't actually tell. Let me turn that off. Oh boy. Holy shit. Why? Oh, because I'm fusing with the thing. There we go. Yeah. This is weird. Yeah, I think it's because we're not properly centered. That's what's screwing things, yeah. This is so weird. Weird, weird, weird. Okay, alright, so let me, just as a test, let me reactivate that. And now the blending is fucked. Because, why? So we do have an alpha now, but the lookups are failing pretty severely. Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense. What am I doing? Need to... uv.x, uv.y. No, that... Oh my god. I need to look up the two neighboring pixels. Okay, so if I do this, it should just work in one direction, I think. Maybe. Perhaps. No. Nothing works at all. Hurrah! Why? Really odd. Yeah. Only I could move. It's really bad. Okay. Yeah.
Everything is so wonky.
Indeed. Another problem is just knowing which direction you're supposed to take the samples in. But I mean, okay, I still don't know what the fuck. What is this one over with? Something I don't really need.
Loskies.
Hello. Welcome to the Treehouse. Oh my goodness. I don't even understand what is going on. Ah, Lord, why? So... yeah, I need to know what the grid width is, basically. The size of one cell, which should be what? Okay, so that's just the scale, which is sort of useful, but not really. Scale plus width, maybe. Right. Much data in type constructor. Why? Oh. Whatever.
So what is this project?
This is an implementation of geometry clipmaps. Or, well, the Treehouse in general is just a Lisp game dev stream that I'm doing every Sunday. But what we're currently trying to do is geometry clipmaps, which are a way to stream terrain. Or, well, in itself it's not a way to stream terrain, but a way to render terrain in a manner that allows streaming. So yeah, this is garbage.
Cool. What's the game going to be?
Nothing. I don't have a game planned. So weird.
I've always wanted to make a game about making road signs. Well, plan one, noob. But it'd be a 2D game, probably.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse, so I'm just gonna implement this for my engine and worry about stuff another time, because this is difficult enough as it is. This makes no goddamn sense.
Surely you make the engine to fit a design doc for a game and not a game to fit the capabilities of an engine.
I make an engine, and then occasionally I think about making video games. And if you don't like that and think it's a stupid idea, you can kiss my ass. Okay. It kind of, sort of, sometimes it almost seems like it is properly following things, but then again, not. It's really bizarre. Why would you do this to me?
Sounds rather gay.
Well, of course. Would you expect anything else? So, hold on. How many tiles do... I think I need to know the end, not anything else. Yeah? Yes. What do we currently
Kissing
have?
or ass, I mean. IDC about the rest.
Rest is pretty gay too, I can assure you. 39. Let's try that. Oh. I turned into a wolf for a second. My apologies. Almost. Almost. Doesn't... Oh, of course. Doesn't match up when you have the actual edge points now, because we're averaging from these 2 points, which, yeah, doesn't lead us to what we want. Hard to see in this. So what do we do with this? Guess. Ah, Lord, You would have to somehow know whether you are an edge point or not. Can link you to paper, by the way, if you want. Here you go, Paperino. I assume they do this in their update step, which I'm not doing, so... Yeah, so this is perfect here. This one is not. No, it's still not quite right. If it were fucking camera, holy shit, then this would have to align just right.
You seem to think I am smart enough to understand any of this.
I don't think that at all. I don't think any way or the other. I just thought you might be interested in seeing what I'm basing all of this off of. So... almost. Okay, so is this the X direction? If so, because for the Y it's currently just bogus anyway.
skip song name, please.
How do we do this? Sure wish I had any idea what I'm doing. It really seems like this might be easier to do in the update after all, instead of doing it all in shader. Aww. The offset bullshit also still bothers me because I don't know how to remedy that. I also still don't think it's right. I have no idea why they do this with this fix-up stuff. No goddamn idea. Let me real quick. Yeah, right here. Boy. Holy shit, what happened to the text? The fuck? That is weird. Oh, because it's wireframe mode. Never mind, that's... okay, that explains things. What if we... Oops. I don't know what I'm doing. So
This paper is super hard to read.
Yep. It has a lot of really mysterious bullshit in it too that makes no sense to me at all.
It does not seem to explain anything properly.
There is a previous paper which goes into some detail on other things, but it is radically different in some aspects, so... Oh well. Eh. Oh boy, look at that. Yeah, that doesn't work right. I mean, the rings seem to work, I think. Maybe? Yeah, but they get really far off base.
Well, that didn't go as expected.
Sure didn't. Okay, hold on. Let me turn something off real quick. Just so I can verify if the ring creation is actually proper. And it is. Everything fits, sort of. Yep, look at that. Wow, that's weird. I think that's the fix-up stuff not working right, though. Yeah. But the actual ring creation looks fine. I think... Wait. Do I see overlapped terrain there? Or is that just aliasing? I think it's just aliasing. Yes. Okay. Now the problem I see is still that it doesn't align around the center here. Which it should do. Let me turn that back on. For funsies.
Is there a certain point you should fill out the innermost ring instead of leaving a hole there?
Yes, that's the last step you do, but I'm ignoring that for now because stuff. Sure, this is totally gonna be how you do this. Well, sort of. So, okay. Let's go back to this, which doesn't make any sense at all for me. Because I mean, unless the point is that things are offset always, just as a matter of fact. But like, if the assumption is that in the end it should sort of balance out so that you have the same amount of distance in either direction, then because the size of the trim halves every time, even if you do all of the rest of the trims for every other level, like on this side, you'll never reach the exact center of it. You know? So, like what? How does that make any sense at all? Also, I still don't understand why they tell you that you need the trim for every variation that you could possibly have. It never explains when you should switch trims or like things, so I really don't get it. I really do not get it at all. So what I could do is just have the first one in one direction and then the rest in the other one. So we can try that, I guess. 0, scale is gonna be 1, and the off is gonna be 0. And then we're gonna start you from guess. And that breaks things. Why? No, because no, huh? Oh, that should be -1, I think. Yes. So if you take a look at this, it starts to approximate the center. But every level gets closer to the center. But it never quite centers right. Man, this is screwed up. I think that's how that works, yeah? This is still like hugely scaled up. Let me maybe something like that instead. That's perhaps a bit too strongly smoothed. Okay, that's nicer. Might want to make this a bit smaller while I'm at it. Segments 60. Okay. Oh boy. I guess one of the ideas of changing the trim is so that, you know, the edges properly align in whichever direction you're currently moving. But, I don't know. I don't know. Still doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, if we actually, like, get in real close with center stuff. And add a skybox. This could already look kind of cool, I guess. But alright, back to biz nasty. Still need to figure this out. How is Babby formed? So I just do ZF again. Oh, wait. Or set this to 0, I guess. So, hold on. Where is the overlap? Here it is. So in this mode, all the actual edge transitions line up properly, as they should. And all the in-betweens can vary because, you know, so how do we do this? I still don't know. And we only have half an hour left. Great. Be nice if we could know whether we are in between or not. That would be grand. Guess that's just a matter of seeing whether... No, never mind. This busts my balls. Let me read this. Maybe they have a bit more detail about this. And this one. Alright, so transition regions for visual continuity. Simple algorithm describes so far suffers from gaps between the render regions at different levels due to the power of two mismatch of boundaries. Both eliminate the gaps and provide temporal continuity. Morph the geometry near either boundary of each render region such as transitions through. Function of spatial grid, coordinates of the terrain, vertices relative to those of viewpoint. Thus the transition is not time-based but instead tracks the continuous view position. Through experimentation we have found that a transition width of n by 10 grid units works well. W is much smaller, the level boundaries become apparent, and if W is much larger, fine detail is lost unnecessarily. If the final active region is too close, set W equals min. Okay. Recall that each vertex stores x, y, z, c, c. Where is the next cursor level? Obtain the morphed elevation as that. So this says exactly the same thing as in the previous one, in the newer paper. But the problem I see, like, is this doesn't answer this problem, right? So, hear me out. Let's see. Where are we? Where's the edge? The edge of this bullshit. Yeah, let's see. So, for this, this edge here, I'm not even sure if you can see this properly. So, this edge here aligns perfectly because it is sampling the same point as the one of the next cursor level. So here we have the finer level and the rest is the cursor level. But these midpoints should be sampled according to these side points. Now that's all fine and good, but if I do the side point blending for every vertex, then I get a different issue, because then these points are possibly not going to line up anymore. Because, for example, if the color difference between here and here has a sample point in between that is a bit different, and not just a linear interpolation, then sampling from this and this for this point is going to give you something else. Yeah? I mean, I think... Okay, so if you had a texture, a separate texture for each level, and the texture was only at the exact resolution of your vertices, then looking on the next cursor level would do what? I mean, it would blend between this and this point, and this and this point, so it would... Would it cancel out? No, it wouldn't. So even if I did that, it still wouldn't make any sense. Oh boy. But what makes sense is if I just chose the point at this exact location of the next cursor grid, because that already does a linear interpolation if it has to. So I don't know if this is actually what you should do or not, but if I have, instead of one huge texture, if I have a texture per of the resolution of the grid per level, and then just look them up as they sort of come, and this should be possible to do. And I don't think I need to even do any manual interpolation, I just need to look up the same points in the next cursor texture. And the texture lookup is going to do the work for me. So, that seems like a good idea. Sort of. That also would answer some questions for me. Now the problem is, in order to do this, we need to delve into textures that have different bitmap levels and accessing those and constructing those, and I don't actually know how to do that. That's a GL thingy that I don't know. I know that you can generate bitmaps automatically, but I think you can also specify them manually so you can store additional data in them. Let me see. Time to do some research. OpenGL texture bitmap manual upload. Here you go. Call GLText image 2D for each bitmap you have. Do I have support for that in my assets? That's the question. Probably not. Texture 2D. So I think the level is the bitmap level. GLText image 2D. Specifies a level of detail number. Base image level and bitmap reductions. So how many can you have? 7 textures. Data is read from data as a sequence sentence. You could also do like texture arrays and shit, but I don't know what those are, and I don't think I need to know because the bitmaps here are exactly what we need, I believe. Max texture size. Interesting, but that shouldn't be a problem. Max texture size is huge nowadays. Okay. So, GLSL texture 2D specify bitmap level. Using GLSL. Fucking foreign posts. Let's look up. Extra LED, if you want to compute the bitmap LED. Okay, so that's probably what we want. But we need to actually change our texture loading to support specifying bitmap levels on our own. Interesting, interesting. So we can have the level which is specified where? Oh, the level is automatic? Yeah, but can't you just smooth the cursor level on the edge such that if you smooth the final level on the edge, they both align? I mean, I could, but then I would lose detail. Well, you know, what you're suggesting is basically, like, if you're going to the inner edge, then you interpolate among yourself as well, which would just smooth, basically be the same as smoothing everything out. And that would lose you a lot of detail. Unless you're suggesting only doing the edge row, which would cause like jumps and stuff. Anyway, with bitmaps, which we already have, I get this for free, so this isn't a deal. This would also probably end up being much more efficient, because it means I only need to store, like, I don't need to store this high resolution texture that can do, like, lookups at the finest level, but instead I can store a texture that is n by n and has L bitmaps. Hold on. I think this should work. So first, let me see. So this is our height map. This is our height map. Damn it. I actually kind of want to see what this looks like, but another time. Okay, so so what we want is texture at sort of this size, but much coarser, so much more blurred, I guess. And then a cutout of like the next region, less blurred, and then a cutout of the next region and less blurred, and so forth and so forth. Cause that would give us what we need. However, generating all of that would be, oh boy. Right, so I already have support for these different levels, specifying them manually. What I don't have support for is telling it not to fucking bitmap. Well, actually, yes I do. If I just tell it to do linear interpolation instead, then it won't generate the bitmaps automatically, and I can specify them manually, so that's good. Okay, so that part is actually already set. And we can now change this to a texture LOD lookup, and passing in the current clipmap level into this. So texture LOD, texture LOD, what is it? So this will be level, and then do texture -1. We need to clamp that to, no wait, not clamp, max 0. Okay, that should be that, I think. And now we don't need this, and we don't need that. So we can remove those. Alpha offset, 1/width, but we do need set of uniform shader. What did I name it? Level, I think. Uniform float level, I guess. Wait, is the level positive? Yes, it is. Bitmap filtering can be used by selecting fractional levels. A level of 0.5 will be 50% of bitmap 0 and 50% of bitmap 1. So I could even do the actual you know, blending between levels automatically using this by interpolating the level instead. So that will save me another texture lookup. Haha, introducing. Introducing. So using that. Okay. That should do absolutely nothing, and it seems to do absolutely nothing. Great. Good. Okay. Level. Yes, yes. Oh, whoops. That. Okay. Yep. Got it. Alright. So that's prepared for now. Oh boy, yeah. Map levels here. I don't think they were generated, or something else is going... What is happening here? Yeah, probably map's being weird. As it is, because the mapmaps are automatically generated, they're not the way we want them to be. So, next weekend we're probably going to look at automatically generating these mapmaps the way we need them to be. Oh boy. It's gonna be interesting. The nice thing about this method too is that whenever we update, like whenever we move one region by a tile, it can only update that map level. So, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, interesting. Well, we're slowly getting there, I guess. Slowly, slowly. Slowly, slowly.
You're pretty good.
No. Let's listen to a beautiful song. As a reward for doing good stuff. Anything else? I guess I might spend the rest of the time to refactor some of these things a bit. Move them into their file and stuff. Guess I'll push this stuff. I guess. Okay. Cool. Anyone up for some Splatoon? I could do with that. Some Splatoon. Split Roomy. Whatever you want to call it. Right?
Woomy.
Yes. It's Woomy.